What you guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Reolink Argus 3 Pro. This is an affordable 2K security camera, has 4 megapixel, completely wire free, runs on a battery, and we're going to be taking a look whether it's any good or not. And I'll give you my pros and cons at the end of the video so you can check those out later. So you can see here it does have also a Reolink solar panel which will actually charge the battery on the camera. So this is everything you'll get inside the kit. The solar panel is a separate purchase which you'll have to make, but you can see here this is the instruction manual, nicely written, color pictures. These things are really easy to set up and they take no time at all. You don't need vast amounts of experience to set one of these cameras up. Now you've got your template here to put the screws in the right position, and you've got your sticker with the 24-hour Reolink security in different languages here, which you can stick on the window near the camera just to let people know that you are running the security system. You can see here we've got a mounting bracket here. This is for the camera. It does have this rotational part here which you can rotate and turn so you can get better angles on your camera. Got your charging cable. This is a USB charging cable. Also we've got raw plugs and screws here to mount this to the wall, and a strap in case you want to mount the camera to a pole or something along those lines. We have a stand here. This is in case you want to put the camera on a stand on a desk. You can do that also with this particular type of stand. And then we have the camera itself. You can see it's a really nice compact camera. It does have a battery inside here. So we have our image sensor here and our 2 LED lights here, which are very, very bright. We have our camera lens in the middle there. Now this does have a digital zoom of 16 times, and also it does have infrared night vision. On the back we have our mounting point there, and the camera in general is very small and compact, and this will be great for a front door or something like that where you can put the camera up with no power at all because it runs on a 6,500 milliamp hour battery. So let's get the bracket on here and I'll show you. Now this is a 2K 4 megapixel at 15 frames per second camera. Field of view on this one is 122 degrees diagonal, and it does have color night vision up to 10 meters, and it does have those 2 spotlights which come on. So you can see the mounting bracket will sit on like this, and basically you mount this to the wall and then you can rotate it to your desired position here, which is pretty good. It does have 2-way audio on here, but you can get some good rotation on this camera here. The camera can be used indoors or outdoors, and if you have an area where you don't have any power, then cameras like these can be very useful. So let's take a look at the back of the camera. You can see we do have that 2-way speaker here. Also we have the mounting area here and the charging port on the back. And on the bottom of the camera here as well, we've got another little rubber grommet which we can pull out. So let me go ahead and pull this out so you can see here. So let me pull this bottom rubber grommet off and you'll get access to the power switch for the camera and also the microSD card slot here, which is where it's going to store all your data. You can also use the cloud storage. They do have a free cloud storage service, but they also have a paid cloud storage service. Now, a thing to remember with these cameras is they are battery and they will need to be recharged. So you just have to bear in mind, if you've got no solar panel, you're going to have good access to the camera to get it down to recharge it. So on the backing plate here where we mount it, you can see here there is an area where you can put the strap through there as well to mount it to a pole if you wish. But all in all, this is a stand that the camera goes on. I'll show you that in a second. Now this is the solar panel, and basically this is going to charge the camera without having to keep taking the camera down. So if you're in a really far away location, then using something like this is going to be really useful because it will help charge the camera and you won't have to keep taking the camera down. So I would definitely advise using something like this if you've got the camera in a really high position where you can't get access to it, and this will charge the camera pretty well. You can also use it on a stand like this internally. If you want to put this internal in your home, you can have it on a stand like this, and you can use it as an indoor camera as well. So go to the Google Play Store and get the app, Reolink app. Just download this and get it on your PC. And you should have your camera set up pretty quickly. Just follow the on-screen instructions. So you've got your talk button here, your clip, and also your playback. And you've got all your usual functions here, which is like take a snapshot and record the screen here as well. So if I wanted to make a recording, I can record the screen here as well. You can also change the resolution on here to 4 megapixel or fluent, depending on what you want to set yours up as. Now, if you needed a bit of light, it does have 2 spotlights on it, which we mentioned earlier. These are 6500K at 230 lumens, which, as you can see here, is pretty bright. Now, I've got lights on in the room, so as you can see, that is the lights there. There's 2 of them on there. Now, they obviously will use power as well, so you have to bear that in mind. Now, this is the menu system. You've got the battery indicator there. It's telling me that it's being charged. We've got our display, PIR, motion sensor here, camera recording, push notifications, email alerts, siren, and all your other settings on here. We've got your date and time, your spotlight, your status LED, and also infrared lights is auto as well. You can set this up how you like on yours. You can go into here and have a look at the quality, anti-flicker, day and night scene, all that sort of stuff. You've got your clear and fluent here settings. Depending on how you want to set yours up, you can by going into the settings here and having a click on these, and it will allow you to set these up. So the resolution is set to 2560 by 1440 at 15 frames per second. And also you can see here maximum bit rate here. So not the fastest frames per second on a security camera. You've got your privacy masking here. If you wanted to blur out a little area, you can do with the privacy masking. You can see personal vehicle detection, color night vision, battery and solar powered, 5 and 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Pretty affordable cost as well with these cameras. If you're looking for something that's cheap and affordable, then something like this will do you very good indeed. Taking a quick look at the specifications here on their website so you can see them on the screen. These are all the specifications here. So if you want to go over to the website, you can click the link in the video description and check out all the specifications to make sure that it does everything you want it to do. Now, again, as I've said before, these are motion detection recording. They're not going to be recording 24 hours. They are only going to record when there's motion. So if someone walks up to your path and you've got it on the front door, it will then start to record, and that's how it works. Now, for storage, it does have that micro SD card slot on the camera, but it also has a free cloud storage plan. But there is also other plans available here if you want more storage, like standard, Premier, and business, depending on how many cameras you got and stuff like that. So this is the night vision here. It works pretty well, as you can see here. That black bar at the top is the privacy, which I was just showing you here. You can blur areas out, and it'll have a big black line there if you don't want to record that area. So maybe you've got a neighbor's area that you just want to blur out because they don't want you recording it. You can actually blur that area out by using the privacy area. So let's talk about the Reolink Argus 3 Pro, the pros and the cons. The pros are ease of installation. It's really simple. Anyone can set this up. So if you've not got any experience in setting up security cameras, then something like this is going to be really useful for you. Works through power outages. So if you've got a power outage, this camera will still work because it works on battery power. It doesn't need any cables. So there's no cables to the actual camera itself unless you are using the solar panel, which will go into the back of the camera. Use in places with no power. So if you have no power and you've got no access to power where that area is, you can use this camera in that area. Now, on the downside of it, you will need to make sure that you have a good, strong enough Wi-Fi signal to reach that camera. So bear that in mind as well. Portable. Now, it means you can move this camera around because it doesn't have any cables, which means it doesn't restrict where you can put this camera. And basically, you can move it about very quick and easily because it works on Wi-Fi. So let's go on to the con side of things and some of the downfalls for these cameras. Well, and it's not just this camera, it's all battery cameras. Batteries need to be charged and also recharged. That means if you've got this camera in a location which is pretty high and you have to keep getting up there to get the camera down to recharge it, that is one of the downfalls of these cameras. That's why the solar panel is so important, because if you can get that solar panel in an area where you've got direct sunlight or good brightness, then it's going to charge that camera very easily. It relies on a Wi-Fi signal. That means that you need to have a good Wi-Fi signal to connect to this camera. Now, because it's using 2K, that means it's going to need a pretty good source of Wi-Fi signal to get a good steady signal. So if you're too far away from your router and you're trying to connect this camera up, it might not connect, or you may have a really bad connection and you might have to use the lower resolution to get it to connect and have a stable picture. Also, less reliable. The reason why they're less reliable is because they rely on battery power, which means if you're in a high usage area like a road or in the front of your home where you've got a lot of traffic, then that is going to constantly send off signals to record, and it's going to keep recording motion triggered recordings, and you're going to end up draining the battery very quickly. Now let's move on to the last one, which is it doesn't record 24 hours at a time. And the reason for this is because they are motion detection cameras, which means it only records when it has any sort of motion detection in front of it, which is a person, a cat, a tree moving in the wind, or car going by. It will start to record. And so these are no good for high traffic areas. You need to make sure that you're not in a high traffic area because the battery will get drained very quickly. So that is the Reolink Argus 3 Pro 2K 4 megapixel wire-free security camera. If you're looking for something that is not battery powered, then Reolink do some other types of cameras on their website. You can check that out. I'll leave the link in the video description. If you want to know more about this camera, you can check the link in the video description and look up the full specifications of this camera, and they'll give you more information on there. Anyway, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. A big shout out to all my YouTube members. I really do appreciate the support, and I shall see you again for another video real soon. Bye for now.